Hello everyone, my name is Nigel Artamparong. In this video, I'll be talking about urban gardening. So, living in the city offers numerous perks. While we typically think of gardening as a backyard or suburban thing, urban living is no longer an excuse to avoid your green thumb. Urban gardening has gained popularity over the past few months in this pandemic with the rise of community gardens and more sustainable living. Many people have given over their windowsills, balconies, patios, and rooftops to house both edible and decorative plants. Despite the compact size of urban gardens, they can still be daunting to begin. From finding the right space to selecting the right plants, there is a lot for a beginner gardener to consider. Luckily, with a little research and some experimentation, you can get your oasis up and growing with however much time and effort you want to give. First, what is urban gardening? Urban gardening is a practice of growing plants in an urban environment. You may be surprised to know that urban gardening has a positive impact on the economy, the environment, and food security. What is the importance of urban gardening? Urban gardening reduces carbon footprints by reducing carbon emissions during the transportation of food, vegetables, and fruits from one other region or country. It also relieves the farm where agriculture was traditionally practiced, freeing the land for natural generation. Now, I will give you tips on urban gardening. There are 7 tips here. First, define your space. Whether you have an alleyway, an entire rooftop, or just a fire escape, measure how much space you've got and decide how large you want your garden to be. There is no such thing as a garden that's too small, but the area you've got determines what kind of plants you can grow and in what layout. It's also important to note what kind of elemental exposure your garden space can get every day, as this will also influence the plants you can successfully grow. 2. Pick your pot. If gardening beds are not an option, potted plants are the way to go. When picking pots, there are a few things to consider. How many plants do you want in each pot? What type of plant do you want? How many pots do you want? If you want to put multiple plants in one pot, consider formatting. Planting a tall plant, like tomatoes, with a shorter plant, like basil, is an efficient use of space that won't overcrowd plants. Additionally, the more pots you have in an area, the higher the humidity, which will improve plant growth. Be creative with your pot use. Take advantage of hanging plots, trellises, and windowsills to maximize your space and create visual interest. 3. Choose your plants. This is the fun part. Your urban garden can be anything you want it to be. So have fun with this part. Do you love peppers? Then grow them. Have you always liked azaleas? Plant them. The world is really your oyster when it comes to what you choose. But there are a few guidelines to follow. First, only plant what you have space for. Don't overcrowd your plants. And don't get too ambitious with how much you want to grow. Start small and go from there. Second, plant food you actually want to eat. At the core of most urban gardens are vegetables and herbs. This is a great way to increase sustainability as well as your intake of fresh produce. So don't waste it on something you're just going to leave on the plant. Some urban gardeners have themed gardens and have components for their favorite meals like pepper, green beans, snap peas, and Thai basil for easy stir fries. Even though gardens are supposed to be aesthetically pleasing, what matters most is the use you get from your investment. 4. Pot your plant. When it comes to actually planting your potted garden, there are a few steps to follow. First, ensure that your pots have holes on the bottom to allow for water drainage. This is extremely important because it's easy to overwater plants, and without a space for excess to escape, you'll end up with a very dead plant. Not ideal. Second, when potting plants, not just any soil will do. You'll need to get potting soil that is specifically made to include the right nutrients for plants that aren't attached to the ground. In addition, you'll want to get fertilizer, preferably organic, to enrich the pot's soil. Although pots take a little more effort to set up than bedded plants, they don't require any additional maintenance, like not pulling out weeds, and come with an added bonus of mobility. This is great for beginning gardeners because it follows them to move plants around if they find that their plants are getting too much or too little sunlight in their original location. 5. Seed or seedling. Depending on how much you trust your green thumb, you can either start from zero or cheat a little. If you choose to go to seed route, know that it will take longer for your plants to grow. There is a higher chance that they won't. While I personally recommend going with a seedling, there is something fun about growing your own plant from scratch. So either decision has its perks. 6. Waters where it's at. Another opportunity for you to test your gardening prowess. Manual or automatic watering. There are some pretty advanced watering systems on the market that keep your plants hydrated, so you only have to worry about watering a couple of weeks or less. They can be a little pricey, so if you want to cut costs, manual watering is the way to go. Worried about over or underwatering? You can get a water level monitor that will help. And number 7, have fun. Your urban garden should be an oasis. It's your chance to develop new skills, add some beauty to your living space, and grow some delicious vegetables. You'll make mistakes, sure, but you can always try again next season. Thank you for watching my video. Hope you liked watching, and this is the end. Goodbye.